Hi, good morning, Jack. It's
Good
afternoon
morning.
here, and it's lovely to see you. This is a thrill for me because I don't get to see you or speak to you very often, and yet very soon I'm going to be seeing you every day for ages, which is really good fun.
I know you're going to be sick of me very soon.
I don't think so. No. So this is part of our series that helps people to get a kind of flavour, really, of Viva, and to meet the speakers, and just to have a nice 15 minutes just with a cup of tea, listening and relaxing. So let's see if we can do that. I'm going to ask you two questions that we've asked everybody else, and if you can just reflect on it for a second, and just see what comes up for you, that would be really great.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, what has happened in your life since you came across the principles that really you would classify as a major change, really significant major change?
Well, there have been so many of them. It's really difficult to know what to land on. Except, the interesting thing to me lately is that last time I beamed into Viva, I think I came in over the internet.
Yeah.
I was talking about some major disaster that had happened. I can't, it's some terrorist.
It was Paris.
It was Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, and such a heartbreaking thing. And then those of you who have seen the posting I did on Facebook lately know that there was just a horrible incident in not terrorists, but a horrible incident in Vermont where 5 teenagers were killed by a random, what seemed to be a random act, and the son of my former partner was friends with these kids, so I went to the memorial service. It was really a heartbreaking thing, and I realized that a couple of things. First of all, that no matter what happens, as horrible as it is, we are still going to be okay. And it's the horrors of life unfolding. And I personally would have latched onto these things in the past, not let them go. I still consider now that they're just as horrible as I considered that they were then. I still get just as emotional about them as I did then. But I know that however I take them in is like the experience I get of them is through my own thinking. And it doesn't really do any good to my well-being to hold on to them for a long period of time and be brought down by it myself. They're horrible situations, but do I want to give myself over to the perpetrators to make my life miserable too? I don't. And I will do whatever is in my power to help people through this, I'll be there for people to the best of my ability, but I only want to be brought down initially. Like I want to experience it fully, the horror of it, the sadness of it. I want to experience that fully, but I don't want my life to be defined by it. because it doesn't help anything if I'm walking around for a long period of time bummed out about this too. I mean, how would that help anything in the universe, you know? So I want to stay as positive as I can. I want to stay as peaceful within myself as I can. I want to stay as loving as I can. I want to stay as wise as I can. And I know that I am those things, except when other thinking gets in the way. And that is so hopeful to me. It's buoyant. It raises up my spirits. It helps me live in well-being. So I don't know if I answered your question, but
You certainly answered other questions I had in my mind, that's for sure as well. So thank you for that. I think in the times we're living, we were just talking very briefly about that, weren't we? Sometimes I think squaring up your own experience in a world where things are brought to your attention that was just so almost impossible. It would be wrong to say, I know what it's like, or I can understand that must be really, I can't actually. And that is a strange feeling of, well, helplessness. And everything you just said is that the health, that we look back towards our own health and the health of the world. Because if we just focus on what looks to be broken, we know from our own moment-to-moment experience, that's not going to help anything.
And the other thing I know about the three principles, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that if these perpetrators did not see reality, if they saw it as just their thinking, their own creation of an illusion that looks real, but really isn't, they would not have to follow that reality. They would not have to take action based upon that reality. They would not have had the feelings out of that reality in the first place that propelled them to act in the ways that they did. So much tragedy that happens could be prevented if people truly understood and grasped the three principles.
Yeah, I guess what I'm hopeful about, really, really hopeful about, is that this is already unfolding. It's not unfolding at the sharp end, maybe. Well, I mean, I know there are inroads, but it feels like the more that we can live in that feeling that you're describing of health and well-being ourselves, then that's spreading and spreading and spreading. And the more parents that are living in that well-being, the better chances their children will have, even in a world where there's lots of things that want to kind of have influence on them. And sometimes it's easy to look at that's what I was doing earlier, looking over there and thinking, but what on earth can be done? And actually, it's not going to start there. I think it's, the sunshine and the water is going to grow the plant in a healthy way and renew things. So sometimes it's easy for me to feel a bit naive when I talk like that, but actually that's what I really believe.
What can be done is not to let them get to us too.
Yeah.
We're the ones who are in charge of our own well-being. Mm. We can't allow people like that, who are so lost from their well-being, to bring our well-being down with them. That would be them winning. I'm not willing to let that happen.
Well,
but I have my moments.
Yes. Well, that's such a powerful message, and I think that's a very powerful answer. Thank you. So if we looked at what is freshest for you if we talked about insights or your understanding or learning about the principles? Because, it seems to most people I talk to, they say, well, I can't imagine this is ever going to end. It's not like, oh, I'm going to get there. Wake up, oh, I've got it now. So I was wondering what was freshest for you.
Well, some of you know that I've been writing, or I'm at the tail end of my latest book, which is called Seduced by Consciousness. And I had to reckon with a couple of things very recently about it. I had to be reminded about a couple of things because I didn't want people to get the wrong idea. And it was possible that people could have gotten the wrong idea. Like, I tell some very personal stories in this book where I got lost. They're very embarrassing stories to me, but I just figured, it's real. What else can I do besides be real? So I put those stories out there, and I got reminded that if people are seeing this through the eyes of the three principles, and they're new to the principles or something, and they say, well, look, Jack Pransky is supposed to know so much about the three principles, and he got brought down for so long. That's a bummer. Oh, I guess it's not that helpful. And I did not want people to get that idea. And what occurred to me was, and I had thought this before, but somebody really drove it home for me, was that my problem was, at the time, my grounding wasn't deep enough. I didn't see it deeply enough. That was the only problem. It's not like the three principles are the problem, that they don't show a way out. They do show a way out. But we don't see them sometimes. And so we are not seeing them as deeply as we could. And if we did see them as deeply as we could, we wouldn't be as bummed out for as long a period of time. So that particular message is a message that is very fresh for me, very near and dear to me, because really what we want to be showing through the three principles is hope. And the hope is that we could see it deeper at any moment. Like, I eventually, by the end of the book, I have a 4-part saga, in that book. And by the end of the saga, boom, I saw it. And I saw it deeply, and everything changed. Before that time, I didn't see it. We can only see what we can see. But the hope is that boom that happened to me at the end, it could happen. First of all, it could have happened sooner. It just didn't. It can happen at any time. It can happen for anybody. And no matter how caught in something we are, that's the possibility that exists for everyone at every moment. That's automatic hope.
That's my sigh of contentment. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you. Okay, Jack. So, well, we're thrilled. Everyone's thrilled that everyone else is coming to Viva, kind of thing. And I can't wait to see you. And I'm looking forward to your retreat, which is I'm going to give that a bit of a mention here. And your bio and information is on our website. So if people want to find out more, then they just need to go to the Viva. I'll put this up anyway, the vivaevent.com, and they can find out more about you if they still need to. And we look forward to seeing you very, very much. And in between, take good care. I'm glad the weather was kind. if it's
Yes, it
possible
was
to say
kind.
kind to you. And yeah, I look forward to connecting really soon again.
Okay, and it'll be great to see you, Sue, and it'll be great to see everybody else there. I'm so looking forward to it.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.